So hi everyone, and welcome to SoulStyle Talks with me, Gabby. My guest for this evening is Lidia Molina. Hi Lydia, good to have you with us.
Hello.
So Lydia is a parental coach. She's also an NLP practitioner and founder of ParenTeen and creator of No Drama Parenting Method. So welcome to tonight's talk, Lydia.
Thank you for having me here.
Thanks so much for joining me here. So the topic is love what you do. So I usually kick off with that question and ask my guests, what does it mean to you? Love what you do. Just tell me what it means to you.
Love what I do to me is doing the things that I'm not trying to please other people, but the things that make me grow, the things that I can learn from, the things that I can't teach to other people to grow. Yeah, just being immersed in the things that you love, growing and learning. Oops, what was that? and then passing it into other people, especially my kids.
Okay, that's great. So what would you say is the biggest learning that you would like to pass on to other people now in this moment?
Right. So as a parental coach, I think the biggest learning for me was to be a parent. And the biggest learning, I had it from my kids.
Right.
So even though I'm the parent, I think I am also the pupil. I'm learning from them. I'm teaching them, but the biggest lessons I'm getting from them. So I'm learning a lot of things from them.
Exactly. That's brilliant. And yeah, I just sort of feel that since we last met, you have gone through massive transformation in your life. And, you know, I've seen it, you smiley and happy and, you know, just doing what you love, really. You know, your program and your company and your business. So can you tell me a little bit more about the transformation?
I think when we met was like about 4 years ago, 10 years ago, 4 years ago.
I think so,
yeah. And I was coming out of a really bad relationship. I was in this relationship for about 6 years, and I kind of he was holding me back of who I really was.
Is it like you losing yourself?
Yeah, like I had to mold myself to him because I was growing too fast for him. And so I have to hold myself from growing, but he wasn't growing neither. So I have to say goodbye. And he also was very manipulative and aggressive and narcissist and blah 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 blah. All these things. And then so I have to come out of that relationship. That's when I went into NLP. And I think that was like a really big eye opener for me to learn a lot of things about how I was seeing the world and how I was perceiving the world and how I was communicating to the world, which it wasn't really me.
Okay.
So I think like from there, Lydia started to transform into the person that I really wanted to be. And that's when I focus into coaching parents, into learning from my kids, into making my program and all that stuff.
Okay. So who does Lydia really wants to be, or who is Lydia now comparing to Lydia 4 years ago?
Oh, I'm still growing. I'm still learning, because I think that is the essence of life. Like
Mm.
you always have to grow, you always have to learn. But who is Lydia now? Hi. I don't think there is a definition of who I am. I'm so many things.
Right.
I am a mom. I am a person who is passionate to help all the parents to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am also a daughter. I am
Mm-hmm.
trying to be a businesswoman.
Yes, you are, Lydia. Mm-hmm.
I am so many things. I can't say I am just one thing,
No.
because every person that comes to my life, I put something to my life,
Mm-hmm.
and then I become something new
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't before. So I am a lot of things. I
Yeah,
am a warrior. I am a warrior
you are a
because
warrior. I like that. I
because
really
I
like
keep
that.
fighting.
Yeah.
I think that is like the label that I want to have. I am a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
But inside that label, I am many other things too.
Many things, absolutely. And I agree with that, what you say, that the people you have in your life or come to your life, they always teach you something, and they either stay or they go, isn't it? It's kind of that learning, but it's either way, either way, it's a learning whether they will stay or they will leave. So I think, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Um, okay, yeah, you are many things. It's like going from a moth to butterfly, isn't it? It's like spreading your wings and sort of like growing, and
Yeah.
as you say, that's beautiful, really nice. And then I would like to sort of ask you about your mission. I know the mission of yours is save lives of teenagers, because you work with parents, and probably with challenging teenagers, and children are children, isn't it? There is always something that you can learn, or you can then take with you and teach others. So tell me about the ParenTeen, and the program that you have created.
So parenting started about 3 years ago. But if I think about it, parenting started many years ago when I was a teenager, about 20 years ago. That's when parenting started. Because growing up, being a teenager that was bullied, I didn't have a really good relationship with my parents. My parents were especially my dad was very strict and aggressive. My mom was working a lot. Then a lot of things happened when I was growing up. I was always trying to find my own identity as a teenager. I had a lot of friends, but then I was very sad inside because I didn't have an identity, and I didn't have my parents to help me find that identity.
Okay.
And so I tried to end my life a few times, to the point that, yeah, you got freeze a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like I couldn't talk to my parents what it was going on in my head. And so as I was growing, I always thought like, this is not gonna happen to my children.
Okay.
I am not gonna be the parents to my kids that my parents were to me. But as they were growing, I realized that I was becoming my father. So the person that I didn't really like was the person that it had the biggest imprinted, how do you call it, like the blueprint in
Sure.
my head, you know.
Right.
So I was doing to my kids kind of like my dad did to me. And even though I swear through all these years that I didn't want to become like my dad. And so through NLP and coaching, I realized that I was doing a lot of damage to my kids.
Okay.
Because of what the inheritance that I had from my parents. And so my relationship with my son was pretty much broken. I really have a relationship with him. It was so bad that I have to send him to live with his dad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He hated me and he didn't speak to me. And I had to put a lot of skills and learn a lot of skills together to try to work that relationship and get my son back. And that is when parenting and the program came up. I didn't know in that moment that that was gonna be, that was gonna be my mission. Shush. I didn't know that that was gonna be my mission in life. All the skills that I was learning, all the things that I was putting in practice to get my son back to live with me and have a relationship with me, all those things became the program that now I teach all the parents.
Wow, that's
so
brilliant.
My mission in life is to save the lives of these teenagers that feel suicidal, just like I did, and like my son. Because I really believe that through communication and really good relationship with the parents, you can save the kids' lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you say, you think you are doing right thing because you have seen the pattern in your dad, and even though you didn't want to happen, but that's what you say, isn't it? I don't want to be like da 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 da. And then usually it's like the universe is hearing, okay, well, she's gonna be like da 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 da. So that's so I think it's brilliant that you sort of figure things out, and then that you are able to support other parents that have got sort of issues that maybe, as you said, the same with you, and when you felt the sadness. So what kind of sadness was it when you were feeling it inside? I know you said you didn't know what your identity is. Do you think that's what your son was feeling too?
I think with all teenagers, the process of going through childhood, like you are very much wrapped up following you what your parents are telling you to do, what not to do. You are in primary school, you got a lot of friends. So you have an identity when you are a kid, but when you become a teenager, a lot of things happening inside your body and outside around you. So everything changes a lot. Secondary school is a big trigger for a lot of problems in teenagers.
Right.
And so they kind of like try to fit in without knowing who they really are. So they're just like trying to fit in, but this is not me. So it creates a lot of anxiety to try to fit in. If the kids have, like, I don't know, autism, ADHD, or any other problems, mental health problems, it's even worse because there is a lot of things going on for them in their heads. They don't understand, and not knowing who they are, not knowing what's going on, and feeling all this pressure. It's just like a bomb about to explode, So the sadness and the emptiness of not knowing who you really are, like it can be body image, it can be that you feel like you are not learning as fast, it can be like you are not fitting in and you don't have that many friends. It can be so many different things that it just like, if it makes you feel like where's my place?
Mm.
Sometimes you feel like you are in limbo. Like, to be honest, I don't remember many things about my secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
You
there
don't
were
remember.
no, there were kids that were really popular, and there were kids that were really like into their bubbles, you know.
Like
They
outsiders,
were
as they, yeah.
yeah, and I kind of like was in the middle because I
Mm-hmm.
was feeling for the kids that were
Yeah,
like a little
yeah.
bit cast aside, but then I also wanted to fit in with the people that
Mm-hmm.
were more popular, you know. So I was like kind of in the middle, and I didn't know what I was wanted to do, and yeah, it was like not knowing who I am,
Yeah.
who am I, what I'm gonna do with my, like I changed career twice. Like I went to different
Okay.
colleges because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I really feel with for the teenagers today, because there is a lot of expectations from them,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you have to finish your GCSEs, and then you have to do your A levels, and then you have to go into university. What do you want
Yeah.
to do with your life?
Yeah.
Like, you cannot ask that question to a 14-year-old,
I
because
know.
I'm 46, and I only recently I found out what I want to do with my life, you know.
Yeah,
14
I
years
know
old.
exactly. I know exactly what you mean. And it's not just teenagers, isn't it? We get lost sometimes, and we are asking
Yeah,
ourselves, who am I? know. So
yeah.
so I know how so much harder it
So
must be
so
for them.
so it's like we expect so much from these poor kids, you know,
Yeah.
when they are still trying to find out what is their place in life, and
Mm-hmm.
what do they want to do with their life, or
Mm-hmm.
who they are, you know.
Mm.
And we just like putting all this pressure on them, like, you have to finish school,
Exactly.
and you have
Yeah.
to do this, you have to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, right, you know. And that's where the anxiety comes, and depression comes, and all
Yeah.
these things come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I know your kids are your priority. So since doing the work with your children, what do you think has changed? What was the sort of like the main?
Basically, my relationship with my son, it's been from non-existent to being super close now.
Wow.
So it has taken me a little time,
Mm-hmm.
because he has a lot of mental health problems.
Mm-hmm.
So my son is transgender,
Mm-hmm.
and so he has depression, anxiety, body dysphoria. He also is autistic,
Mm-hmm.
and so he has a lot of things inside him. To navigate him and his moods,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
been a big challenge for me,
Mm-hmm.
because my father's side, his temper and his passion
Yeah.
come a lot of times. So for me to stop and think, shh, back up, because
Okay.
this is not the way, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Navigate that, getting to know myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then applying that to my relationship at all. My son not wanting to speak to me or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
being very close now, you know, like we do a lot of things together. He's the one who comes to me and mommy, I need to talk to you. Mommy, my friend had a problem, how can we help them? Mommy, I wanna do this. Like we're just like so close now. Sometimes we clash too, but
Yeah.
now we know how to not argue and have big
Right.
arguments like we used to before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the biggest change was like not having a relationship at all to being super close now.
That's amazing. How long has it take you, this journey?
Right. So I said, when I have to send him to live with his dad,
Mm-hmm.
to the time that he came back was about 4 to 6 months. I think
Okay.
it was about 4 to 6 months. And then from that we started to build a relationship better. So I think he realized that mom has changed. Mom needed to change, and mom acknowledged that she needed a big change. And so because mommy has changed, he has changed too. You know, it's not, sometimes parents think that the problem is the kid and we need to fix them,
Right.
where the majority of the problem is with the parents. And once we change, then the kids change too.
Yeah,
So
it is really interesting.
it was a couple of years. It was a couple of years until I can say, like, wow, my relationship with my son is really good now.
Wow, that must be like the biggest win in life, isn't it? That's what you really want.
It is, but you also like it was mainly how can I say, it was mainly me learning how to be flexible too.
Right.
Okay. And understand that, you know, there is a lot that I had to learn with my kids, because when they are little, they're very easy. They do what you want, that's it. You know, they have the tantrums and then you punish them and that's it. But when they are teenagers, it's different, because you have to prepare them to be adults. So you cannot use the same things that you were using when they were little. They don't work.
Yeah.
They want to have independence, and they want to have their own lives, kind of, but you still have to be their guide. So I think for me, the biggest learning that I had was to know that I have a child, and once I have a child, this kid doesn't belong to me. This little person has their own lives. This little person are gonna grow with something different than me. So all I can do in this stage, in this teenage stage, is guide them. I can tell them, this is the good way, this is the bad way, this is what happens if you follow this way, this is what happens if you follow the bad way.
Right.
So you choose, you know. But that's it. All I can do is guide them, because they're gonna become their own person.
Yeah, I think that's really, really great learning and advice, actually. As you say, not just have the kids being copies of you as a parent, or wanting them to be as you want them to be, but exactly as you said, to realize that they are growing into their own person and being the adult, and the guidance, life guidance, is probably the most important thing. So
it's not healthy for them, you know. It's not healthy to constantly tell them what to do, what not to do, follow the rules, put boundaries in there. It's not healthy for them, because you are like how do you call it, like constrict them, like you're not letting them grow.
It's like a bird in a cage sort of thing, would you say?
Exactly. They need to test the boundaries. They need to find out by themselves what works for them or not. Sometimes they don't obey the rules, sometimes they break them, but it's a learning curve for them. So they need to do those things. As long as you negotiate with them the rules, the boundaries, and what the consequences are, you know, you have to let them crash their heads against the wall, as they say, you know. Some of them need to crash their heads against the wall like a few times to learn, but you have to let them do it, because that's the way they do. They're gonna grow and they're gonna learn.
I also agree with that. Just being a teenager, try a few things, and then when you're adult, you're like, oh my god, that was so stupid what I did, but I tried it, and then I know I won't do it again. Or on the other hand, it's like, yes, I did this and it was great, so let's continue with that, you know. So it is probably exactly as you said. Yeah. Lydia, I know you shared like a quote, I think also on your social media, which reads, don't worry about failures, worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. So that's very powerful, and I really love that. So are there any chances you think you missed in life? Or on the other hand, is there any opportunity that you felt like you really grabbed it and it went all well?
There were a lot of chances that I missed.
Okay. What kind of chance?
Fear.
Okay.
Because I was afraid of, yeah, I was afraid of losing people. I was afraid of trying new things. I was afraid of what's gonna happen. Or I was afraid of the unknown, really. So
Right.
I miss a lot of opportunities because of fear. But then once I learned that the best things are in the other side of fear,
yes,
then I think I say yes to a lot of things.
Right.
So I grab a lot of opportunities. Since then, I have met a lot of people. I have grown as a person. My circle of friends have changed. I have met people in my life that have contributed to my growth. Best thing, or one of the best things that happened to me was like meeting my actual partner. Because I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, and then I wrote a list to the universe with the things that I wanted in a new partner. This guy comes, and it just felt like we were the missing pieces of the puzzle, you know.
Okay.
And everything was just like working better and better and better. So I think it could have been the fear of like, no, I've been into so many bad relationships that I don't want to have that relationship anymore, you know. So I closed my doors to meeting anybody. But then I was like, no, everything happens for a reason, you know. So I'm just gonna put out there what I really need in a person. I'm just gonna let it go. And then this guy just come like a few days later. And it was so amazing. Like we're gonna do like a year together in a few days. Like
that's so beautiful.
Next week.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, never close the doors to anything because you are afraid of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because if you are afraid of what's gonna happen, then you never know the good things that can happen to you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Or the fear really can stop you from many things, isn't it? As you say, progressing in a relationship. Because can we hear each other, Lydia? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you
Great.
keep on breaking a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are back on.
Do you know there is something about you that I keep on having in my mind. It's the picture of you in the base camp of the Everest.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to do that. Like one day I'm gonna be there. One day I'm gonna be there. And I keep on thinking, and I tell you what, like with Marcos, the guy that I'm now, he's like, there is something that I really want to do, which is like going to Tibet and going to base camp on the Everest. And I'm like, no, it's not possible that you want the same thing as me.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend that. Again, it was the thing, obviously, when I was made redundant, and it sort of hit me. It was great though. I had, a few months to do things that I wanted to do. And one of the things always felt like I want to climb a mountain. I didn't know where or what or how, but and then obviously at the NLP, I met a lady, Madeline, and she talked about that. So she said, well, why don't you just try this company and this track? I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should do it. So I booked a flight, I think a few days after we have spoken, or something like that, or it was a few months, but I booked a flight and I'm like, okay, well, now I can't get out of it because there would be a waste of money. So I think that was that security that I'm like, okay, well, let's get organizing. But there was no fear. It felt so natural. So sometimes, when you are making decisions, you feel the fear, and then it can be valid because you don't know how things will go. And sometimes the decision is not right. We don't always make the right decisions, right? But definitely with this one, it felt so natural. So, I'm like, okay, fine, flight is booked. So let's keep, what about the company now? And I need to buy stuff. And everyone was asking me, it's like, so have you done a training like for walking, and are you walking far? And I'm like, no, but I love walking, so I'm just going to do it.
I walk my dog in the park. That doesn't count.
It does count, believe me. So yes, I highly recommend that, Lydia. And I think if you guys can do it one day, start planning in your head, and the universe will make it happen as it did with you meeting the partner.
Our goal is to buy a motorhome, like a camper van, and just like travel, and that is one of the things that we put in the bucket list that we have to go. In fact, I got a picture on my vision board.
Yeah.
Of of going there. So yeah.
Brilliant.
I'll talk to you. I'll ask you more questions about that.
Yes, I'm very happy to help or give you information, because as I said, it was a trip of a lifetime in many, many ways, just meeting the people and how the locals live, and how beautiful and wholehearted they are, and meeting the children there. Oh yeah, it was just gorgeous. So yes, I'm very happy to give information on that. So that you kind of sort of answered that already, but my last question was to ask, what is your biggest wish and why?
My biggest wish, right? Okay, so my biggest wish really is to touch the heart of so many parents, because I don't think they realize how precious and how do you call it, how I got the word in the tip of my mouth and it's not coming out. Our kids are so fragile. Yeah, our teenagers are so fragile that they might seem that they're happy and they're doing well in school and everything, but there's so many stories of all these kids that they just take their own lives.
Yeah,
because behind that happiness, you don't know what's going on in the head, So I really wish for all the parents to know that these lives are so precious and are so fragile. They are so emotionally fragile that it can take just the minimum thing for them just to end their lives. Like that's it. I wish for more parents to talk about these things with their kids, and I wish for more parents to really have a great understanding and sharing more their own lives. There is a big shame on talking about the problems that we have at home. But I always said that in my Facebook group, I always said, if you guys don't share your own stories and your own experience, the two things can happen. You are not going to find the help that you need, and you are not going to help other parents. So I just wish for parents to know the urgency of this, because only in UK, 2 teenagers suicide every day.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Didn't
so
realize.
bad. It's so bad. So that's my wish, for parents to speak more about it. Not shame on it, because it is not shameful. Feeling bad inside, there's no shame about that. Not helping others, that is shameful. So I just wish for more parents to speak more about it with their kids and with all the parents, so we can stop this.
Yeah. And what do you think is the issue with not talking about that what is going on?
Nobody wants to talk about having problems at home.
Right. Okay. Everyone wants to seem like everything's fine and perfect and happy, possibly.
When it's not. Like I have a lot of parents that are anonymous in the group, because they don't want other people to know that they have problems at home.
Right. Okay.
But if you don't share your problems, you don't get the help and you don't help other people. So it's up to them. But
it is.
I mean, if I didn't share my problems or my experience, I wouldn't be helping so many parents all around the world like I'm doing now,
That's really great. And then if someone sort of wants to get in touch with you, how can people do that? You have a website.
So I think the best place for me to get in contact with people is Facebook.
Okay,
I basically live in Facebook. So if there is any parents that are watching now, they have challenging kids, they don't have good relationship with their kids now. So I have a Facebook group which is called Support and Solution for Parents with Challenging Teenagers. And so they can join the group, and there is a lot of help in there, because I was one of these parents that was going through other groups trying to find solutions where I didn't find them. All I found was all the parents trying to find solutions and like a headless chickens, more about the kid. But this group is different because I offer a lot of solutions. I do a lot of research. I interview other people, professionals that can help them with mental health problems, autism, ADHD. I don't know. I just like I bring a collection of solutions for parents, because that is what I want to do. I don't want them just to share their problems. I want them to find solutions. So that's one of the best places that they can find me. That I also run webinars.
Okay.
And I also run the program, so they can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet. Is it just like Google my name? I'll appear.
No, that's fine. And I'll also, on the description over here, I'll maybe put a website and all the links, so they can also join through there when they see it. Okay, well, that's been really great, Lydia. Very sort of
Thank you.
insightful. And as I said, I feel like the transformation has been massive. And from what I have seen since I have known you, but also you saying that you felt the transformation massively, that you kind of found your niche now, what you want to do, and you know it's working and your solutions are working, and you are already inspiring and helping so many people all over the world. So thank you so much again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and then I really hope your mission will go much further. So you'll help
Me
more
too.
many people. Thank you, Lydia. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.